Hey, it's Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. The A's are back in the playoffs tonight against the New York Yankees in the Bronx. Liam Hendriks starting for the A's against Luis Severino for the Yankees. We'll carry that one for you right here on Sports 1140. Pregame 4:45. First pitch is at 5 o'clock. The National League wild card game was a wild one indeed down in Chicago. The Rockies emerged victorious 2-1 in 13 innings thanks to a game-winning RBI single from Tony Wolters in the top of the 13th inning. Now the Rockies move on to the division series where they will face the Milwaukee Brewers. And LeBron James made his Lakers debut last night at the Staples Center. He scored 13 points, had 3 rebounds, and 3 assists in 15 minutes, while the Lakers fell to the Nuggets 113-111. Those are your top stories on Sports 1140. Now it's back to the drive with Carmichael, Dave.
Rise and shine, sleepyhead.
I'm not letting you go to work today.
Wait, what?
Everybody, listen up.
Welcome to The Drive.
Hey now.
Morning.
You're gonna talk.
Get on the phone at 339-1140.
That's what she said. Pretty awesome, huh?
Jump in on our text line at 441140.
Everyone is talking about it. You must know.
The Drive starts now.
Twitter is such a cesspool. Our thanks to Dave Softy Mahler up at KJR. I love having him on for many reasons. I've had him on a couple times throughout the years. We'll have him on before the Niners take on the Seahawks, I'm sure, at some point this year. Because 90% of the texts I get love the back and forth, and there's always like 4 guys. What do you have this guy on for? He's a mood killer, bro. He's too aggro. Who is this guy? Who cares about Seattle? Also, currently in a Twitter conversation with a Niner fan who called me out for saying that Vic Fangio might have more talent on that Bears defense than he had in San Francisco. The argument has now moved to Aldon Smith is better than Khalil Mack. I know.
I think Aldon Smith was a better pure pass rusher than Khalil Mack. But Khalil Mack is a vastly better football player. And the separation in their I'll accept the argument that Khalil Mack is a better pass rusher. That's.
I want you to explain a tweet of yours.
Ooh.
You tweeted a picture of Cole Hamels. And then you wrote Cole Hamels, and then you wrote Whole Camels, Hole, and you tweeted a picture of a camel in a hole.
Yeah.
That's
funny.
Is that original? Did you make that up?
People flip letters on names like that all the time.
Oh, I know that. I'm saying, is that your tweet?
Yes.
That is very funny.
Thank you.
And I retweeted it.
Thank you.
And I'm very hard on you with your tweets.
You are.
But
to the point that I consider blocking you sometimes.
That probably won't be viral because most things aren't, but damn it should be. I don't know why, but I saw that and I just laughed. Cole Hamels, you show him pitching, and then Whole Camels, you found a camel in a hole.
I had to search through
very funny.
I had to search through unspeakable things to find a picture of that. It didn't even occur to me. I was just like, oh, I'll just search this. And then I searched it and clicked on images and was like, oh no. I found what I was looking for.
We're going to get Scott Bair on here right now. Want to also let you fantasy players know, just announced Leonard Fournette out this week with an injured hamstring. Man, there are a lot of running back issues going on right now. Devontae Freeman in Atlanta, obviously Le'Veon Bell and that whole deal in Pittsburgh, which is a non-injury situation. Joe Mixon in Cincinnati. I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple, but there are a lot of injuries going on right now at the running back spot. Brooks Koepka is denying that he and Dustin Johnson got in a argument, fight, whatever you want to call it. Somebody asked me yesterday who would win a fight between Brooks Koepka and Dustin Johnson. And I spent way too much time actually thinking about that. I think the snap judgment answer is, well, Dustin Johnson, he's huge. But have you seen Brooks Koepka? He's massive. He's massive. Hey, just very, very, very muscular. I think who would win would be the fans, because I would love nothing more. I would love nothing more to see two golfers go at it. I just imagine them out on like the 10th green, finally boils over, and they're just slapping each other with their golf gloves. Someone bends a putter. someone walks over somebody else's line on the green, and now it's on. There's copper tone and health bars flying everywhere. David Faraday runs onto the course to break things up. I bet you David Faraday, by the way, kicked both their asses. And he's, 60 years old, whatever he is? Faraday grab a scotch bottle. Well, actually, excuse me, I don't want to joke about that because I know David's a recovering alcoholic, but I'm saying he scrapped back in the day. Guaranteed.
I think if you let Tom Watson shotgun a Red Bull.
Tom would take him down.
Yeah.
I love David Faraday. I really do. He is one of my favorite persons. I'm just saying he would kick ass. I was gonna say he'd break the bottle like what's his name, Happy Gilmore did on the bar. Yeah. What's your problem, bro? But I also know David Faraday is a huge champion of sobriety too. So we'll move on. Joining us right now from NBC Sports California, he joins us each and every Wednesday at 8:05. It is the one, the only Scott Bair. Scott, it's Dave, it's Kyle. How are you?
Pretty good. How's it going?
I would say better that, we had one of your colleagues, Matt Barrows, on yesterday who covers the 49ers, and he made an interesting comment, and sometimes I like to explore that a little more. He said it was he could have been a better week for him because the Niners have been losing. And even though you, of course, and I admire you as a journalist, you're actually a real journalist who has real ethics and research and stuff like that, but your job's a lot more fun, I would guess, as well, when the Raiders are winning as opposed to losing.
You are not allowed to root for teams. You are 1,000% allowed to root for stories. And the stories get worse, and the access gets a lot worse.
Yeah.
If they continue to lose, if guys are in a bad mood, they don't want to talk, they don't want to be around, they don't want to explore different aspects of what's going on in the season. So for all those reasons, yeah, I was pleasantly accepting of the result on Sunday, which was a classic in its own weird, bumbly sort of way. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that it's safe to say that there are more and better stories coming now that the guys are still really engaged in what's going on. And I think that all of their hard work, of which they put in a bunch under John Gruden, was rewarded, at least for one Sunday.
Was there any other way that John Gruden's first win with the Raiders could have gone? It was just like you said, it was such a bizarre game, but it felt like the first time, and I'm sure this is not the case, but it felt like the first time things kind of bounced the Raiders' way. They had the fumble call that got called no fumble. They had the respot that forced the Browns to punt there at the end. Was that kind of a general feeling in the locker room that, hey, we finally had something go our way this year?
I think it was that. I think more what the feeling was in the locker room was a sense of relief, but also a strong sense of pride in the fact that they were incredibly resilient. They blew another late lead. That's 4 out of 4. That's good in baseball, bad in what we're talking about now. And ultimately, the fact that they were able to come back and find a way to win, I think that that's the most important thing. Because if you go back to 2016 is always brought up because they were the kings of the fourth quarter then, and they benefited from some wacky calls, but they took advantage of the moment. Even after that questionable measurement, of which the NFL has come out and said that they combined 2 different angles and they got the call right. But they still had to throw a touchdown to Jared Cook, and then Derek Carr still had to throw an absolute laser beam to Jordy Nelson just to get to overtime, and then they had to do some things in that period too. So, yes, there's always an element of luck, and there's a human element to how this thing is officiated, even when it goes to Manhattan and they screw it up there. But ultimately, it's about this team taking body blow after body blow. 4 takeaways. This should be an easy victory. It's not. It's hard. And I think that that's what happens to teams that fight but maybe aren't as good as some other teams, is that they're going to have to win this way. And ultimately, they're going to have to win maybe 45-42 yet again, because that defense, while it made some big plays, allowed a whole lot of them too.
Scott Bair joining us. Scott, Kyle and I were going back and forth on Monday about Derek Carr, and I love Derek Carr's performance. He had 2 picks. It was not his best performance. We could pick apart, no pun intended, a lot of different things, including him missing, I think, 23 passes. But what I saw, and I want to know if you saw the same thing, was he didn't really give a crap. He was pushing. He was being aggressive. He was going downfield. He connected with Amari Cooper numerous amounts of times, and that 437 yards should be closer to 500 if Martavis Bryant doesn't drop the easiest pass he's ever been thrown. So I was actually very encouraged by Derek Carr's aggressiveness on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely, and I used the word resilience earlier, and that definitely applies to him. Not only for the 2 picks, but it was during the overtime period as they were heading down towards that field goal that ultimately got missed. And Derek Carr took a shot as tough as any that you've ever seen. And I think that he completed a ball to Jared Cook downfield. My notes aren't in front of me. But bottom line is, if the television camera were to have swerved back to him, he was laying on the ground, clearly trying to catch his breath in as much pain as you can be in without something being broken. Face planted in the turf, but somebody caught the ball, right? So he has to hustle down and orchestrate this offense. Never once did I think that guy's coming out. Never once did I think that guy's feeling really good right now. I mean, he took an absolute shot, and he went up to the line of scrimmage, and he kept going, and he kept fighting, and he didn't call for a trainer, and he didn't tap out. And those types of things are what you maybe don't see all the time on the television feed, but signs that this guy wants to get it right so bad. Maybe at times too bad. Like he keeps saying, I want it to be like me and John Gruden have been together for 10 years. Dude, you haven't even been together for 10 weeks. So ultimately there is a learning curve here that he wants to expedite, but I think that sign where he can take as big of a shot as I've ever seen him take, get up and keep rallying is one of those things that I think is encouraging. I'm of the belief that Derek Carr has all the arm talent that you could possibly want, and that at times he can be, and this is his term, not mine, he can be a people pleaser to a fault sometimes, where he's trying too hard to do exactly what coach wants, or to do it exactly as it's drawn up, and sometimes he's fighting against his better nature. So physically, I think he's as good a quarterback as any. It's about working out what's going on between the ears, and if he can get that level of confidence from 2016 back, if he can get that kind of delicate balance between pushing the envelope and not being an idiot, I think he's going to be just fine.
Do you think that was a little bit of a turning point on Sunday for not only Derek Carr but the offense, because we hadn't really seen them break out like that yet in the second half of a game?
Yeah, I think the biggest, maybe most damning stat for me about the first 3 games was heading into the Browns game, they were 6th in total offense, about 400 yards a game, and 28th in scoring offense. That is not the type of disparity that you want to be associated with. And it was because Derek's throwing picks in the end zone a couple different times. They're giving the ball to Keith Smith. God bless him. Very good fullback. You got beast mode 2 yards behind him. Hello. So they had moments like that, right, where they weren't good in the red zone and all those types of things. I think the really encouraging point is that they scored 45 against what is a good defense. It's easy to say Browns and think suck, but this is a better defense than what they'd seen. And they scored 45 freaking points, and as you guys already pointed out, could have been more than that. So I think that part was encouraging, because I sort of felt like, gosh, we're moving the ball, right? Like we're doing everything that we're supposed to be doing except scoring, except the primary freaking objective. So the fact that they were able to do that, I think, gives them confidence that, hey, maybe we can do that against anybody. And if there is a strong turning point in this week-to-week league that can be applied in the future, it's that level of confidence, again, between the years, thinking we're moving the football. We have weapons all over this passing game, and Marshawn Lynch is running like a man possessed. So now we know we can finish. Let's rinse and repeat week after week.
Scott Bair
I'm all
with
fired up now, guys.
Hey man, I'm with you. You got me fired up, so I want to stay on Marshawn Lynch here. The Raiders have played 4 games. The Rams are the 5th best rushing defense in the league right now. Denver is 8th, and then Miami's no slouch. And you just mentioned Cleveland. It isn't your daddy's Browns defense. Yet Marshawn Lynch right now, and we know it's early, but right now is on pace for 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns, and that doesn't count anything he's doing in the passing game. I think he has 60 yards or something like that. This is a season I don't know a lot of people expected out of Marshawn Lynch because of age. There was even some thoughts that he might retire in the offseason. How much of this to you is Marshawn being healthy? How much of it is Gruden in that offensive play calling? And how much of it is the offensive line? What do you pin that on, Scott?
Yeah, I think it's part scheme, and Tom Cable's back, and Marshawn Lynch's salad days were working with Tom Cable in Seattle. So I think it's about finding a scheme that fits. I think it's about a guy who's incredibly motivated because, to your earlier point about whether he was going to play this year or not, he's not going to be playing very many more, whether it's the end of this year or maybe next year. He's definitely not going to Las Vegas, obviously, no matter how well that he's doing. So to those points, it's tough to interpret Marshawn because he doesn't give you a lot of feedback, as we know. That there isn't a lot of, hey, this is why I'm doing this, because he doesn't talk to people like me very often. But he did after the Miami game, right? And I know he was promoting a movie for his own production company, and I get that may have been the motivation. But if you listen to what he said after that third straight heart-wrencher, he said, we're 1 or 2 plays away from being awesome. And he wasn't talking to me or to you or to your listeners. He was talking to his teammates and saying, in a clear, concise, completely understandable, logical way, saying, we are close, here's why we are close. And then on Sunday, when things aren't going right in the run game early on, he goes to the sideline in front of his offensive line, and you think he's just screaming expletive, like maybe he's just super pissed. But Colt Miller says that no, he's saying we need to take this game over. We need to take the lead in this initiative to finally get a win. And ultimately, that group responded. And I think that Marshawn led with a little bit of words in public after the Miami game, and then in that game, his personality, his resilience, his desire to not only get a first down but an extra yard. I mean, the man was on the sideline one time, turned back in, lowered his shoulder, and popped somebody for an extra half a foot. And I think that type of mentality, even without him saying a whole lot outside of that rah-rah speech, I think that is contagious and infectious. And maybe he's not going to have 130, rushing yards every game. But that type of mentality, I think, can wear off, especially when things aren't going right and things need to go better.
I want to stick on the offensive side of the ball here as we talk to Scott Bair of NBC Sports California. Amari Cooper, 1 catch for 9 yards, 10 for 116, 2 for 17, then 8 for 128. What do you make of his lack of consistency?
Yeah, I'm sure that there's a bunch of Raiders fans in your listening audience who just pulled their hair out yet again, going back and forth thinking, wait a minute, is this guy in like the A.J. Green, OBJ class, or is he Sammy Watkins reincarnate, right? It's, you just don't know. And I think that the inconsistency more than anything else is maddening because Derek Carr can say we're letting coverage dictate where we throw the ball. But if you're a top-level receiver and you want to get paid like a top-level receiver very soon, coverage shouldn't matter. 6 catches for 60 yards should be your baseline. And 5 times last year he had 10 yards or less. And those types of things are unacceptable, even with Jared Cook leading all tight ends, even with Jordy Nelson clearly finding his spots to make an impact, and them working a lot with running backs. But I do think that the level of consistency needs to increase, and it seems like every other week we have a different line of questioning about Amari Cooper. He's in the game plan. His number is being called. This isn't last year where the offensive coaches kind of forgot that he was there and forgot to move him around. John Gruden's doing all those things. And it's just a matter of if you're getting double covered, yeah, there may be an easier option, but sometimes Amari is still your best. the one thing that I've seen, especially in the Denver game and a little bit during the Cleveland game, is they understand he's so good after the catch. Sometimes, give him the ball 4 yards from the line of scrimmage and then let him work and let him get involved a little bit to ratchet up that level of consistency. Because even though, like I said, Cook and Nelson are all contributing as you would expect, Cooper needs to be steadier. I think if I'm looking at the box score now, I think the most encouraging thing from this game in terms of the wide receivers, even though they had 6 frickin' drops, is that the dispersal is a little bit better. Amari Cooper 8 catches, Cook 8, Nelson 5, Bryant involved. They thought Bryant was going to explode in that game. Dropped 1, kind of lost his way a bit, but nonetheless, they're spreading the ball around, and I think that is better for everybody, and then creates more avenues for Amari to be successful, as opposed to saying, hey, you're going to double him every time? All right, then we're just going to let him be a decoy and come out of the game plan. He needs to stay involved every week.
Scott Bair, NBC Sports California. You can read him on the website, follow him on Twitter as well, and listen to him each and every Wednesday talking Raiders right here with us at 8:05. Scott, always a pleasure. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. Thank you.
You take care. That's Scott Bair, NBC Sports California. He said something about Amari Cooper. That made me think, is he, what did he say? Is he whoever, Randy Moss and, top receiver?
He said, is he in the Odell Beckham class?
It made me think. I love this argument. It's always fun to have. I think in the coming years, we're going to start hearing more and more of an argument that Larry Fitzgerald might be the greatest receiver of all time. I think that argument's coming a lot more than it already is.
Yeah, I threw out the other day that I said something about Larry Fitzgerald being an underrated all-time great.
Yeah.
And more than one person hand waved it oh, that's just ridiculous.
That statement it's ridiculous to say that what you just said is ridiculous, because that's not. My point is that
my brain is melting out of my ears.
When you say Larry Fitzgerald is an underrated all-time great, it's stupid to say that that's a ridiculous statement.
Yes.
That's what I'm asking is to take it a step further and just simply wonder, and again, Niner fan Jerry Rice, that's my guy. What if Larry Fitzgerald played his entire career with Joe Montana and then Steve Young?
Right. And you typically, unless you get a person who's trying to be I'm smart sports fan.
Right.
Typically you get your top 3 receivers all time are Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens, Randy Moss. You might get some variation in there, like I said, from guy who's trying to outthink guy who's trying to outthink the question.
Right.
But no, I think for sure we will. Maybe not in 5 years, maybe not in 10, but at some point there's going to be this oh hey, Larry Fitzgerald put up ungodly numbers on some really bad teams for a long time.
You ever taken a look at the list of quarterbacks
Oh yeah, no, we've been over this.
Larry Fitzgerald, we'll break here.
John Skelton, Max Hall are both on there.
Yes. Larry Fitzgerald, third and soon to be at the end of the season, barring injury, very soon here, will be second all-time in receiving yards. Second all-time in receiving yards. He will be 8th in touchdowns. By the end of the year, likely will be 6th. He needs 5 more touchdowns to be 6th. And Larry Fitzgerald right now is third all-time in catches. He needs 76 catches to pass Tony Gonzalez for number 2 on the list. And that's getting his passes from, I think it was 23 different quarterbacks in his career, something stupid like that. We went over this list about a month ago. And Carson Palmer and I think Kurt Warner were the 2 best quarterbacks he ever. And those are 2 good quarterbacks, also at different stages of their career. It's an interesting conversation to have. I love Larry Fitzgerald. We'll take a break. When we come back, Dave Kaval, president of your Oakland A's. Is he biting his nails today? We have A's coverage tonight. First pitch right here on Sports 1140 KHTK. Last pitch as well, by the way. We'll do all that next right here on Sports 1140 KHTK.
A memorable season, an incredible run. Now it's time to go for it all.
Davis has done it again.
The Oakland A's miracle season continues in baseball's second season.
Hit the deep center. Henniger going back to the track, right to the wall. He will watch it fly.
Catch the A's and Yankees Wednesday for the American League Wild Card game.
The A's take a 3-1 lead.
Coverage begins at 4:45 here on Sports 1140 KHTK.
The A's win it. The A's win it. The A's win it.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with limit, no limit, hold'em, blackjack, pai-gow poker, baccarat, and now 3-card poker. My favorite game. Also the best food, the best service, and the best games. Capital Casino, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly, would you? 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. As farmers ramp up to sell American eggs in Canada under the new trade agreement, they can bolster their supply with some giant eggs laid last Sunday, starting with the New York Jets. That's why I have Todd Bowles and his defense that surrendered 503 yards to Blake Bortles and the Jags on the track running after practice penalty laps. Right behind him are Adam Gase and his entire Miami team. Like Bowles, Gase claims he didn't see this coming. Last Sunday, his Dolphins came up small in a pivotal contest in Foxborough. Dirk Cutter and the Bucs are bringing up the rear. He suggested everyone be fired, including himself. That's the best idea he's had in 3 weeks. Finally, Denver coach Vance Joseph called out punter Marquette King. And so are we. In the rarefied air, you got to be able to flip the field, as they say. I'm Boomer Esiason.
From a massive cactus falling on a home to a deer dancing on a car's hood, we've covered it. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
At Discover, we believe anniversaries should be a time of celebration, not obligation. That's why we think annual fees are ridiculous. And now, just for giving us a try, we're going to give new card members a 1-year anniversary gift they'll never forget. At the end of your first year, we'll match all the cash back you've earned dollar for dollar. No caps and no catches, because we know if you try us, you'll like us. And that's worth every penny. Try it and believe it at discover.com/match. Cashback match offer only for new card members. Limitations apply.
From a bear messing up a car interior to a deer damaging a pool liner, we've covered it. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Why should you use Zoom Imaging Solutions for all of your office equipment needs? Zoom is never too busy to greet you personally. Zoom has the best copiers, printers, and solutions in Northern and Central California and the Bay Area. Zoom offers industry-leading on-site response time for service and repairs. And because Zoom is consistently ranked as a top market leader, that's why you should use Zoom Imaging Solutions. Call them at 916-369-6526. Or go to zoomcopiers.com to reach an office equipment specialist in your area.
We must all work together to be better prepared for wildfires. I'm Joe Segura, and I work in emergency communications at PG&E. As an additional precautionary safety step, PG&E is urging customers to sign up for alerts at pge.com/mywildfirealerts. We can alert you if we need to temporarily turn off the power because of extreme fire danger conditions. We know how important it is to have safe and reliable power in your home, so we will only turn off the power as a last resort. Please sign up today at pge.com/mywildfirealerts.
Catch Football Friday on Sports 1140, brought to you by Maida Chevrolet. Get the commercial vehicle you're looking for, Silverados, Express vans, and more. Business elite at Maida Chevy. Find new roads.
Now your sports update. Sports update. Powered by Mercury Insurance.
Kyle's sneezing. Go ahead, Kyle.
It's fine. This is Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. Hey, we're going to stick to one story. It's the Oakland A's. They are back in the playoffs tonight against the New York Yankees in the one-game playoff. It's a wild card game. It's in the Bronx. Liam Hendricks against Luis Severino. A bullpen game for the A's. And we'll see if their storybook season continues. You can listen to it right here on Sports 1140. Pregame 4:45. First pitch is set for 5 o'clock. Winner of this game goes on to face the Red Sox in the ALDS, so be sure to keep it locked to Sports 1140 all afternoon. That's your top story on Sports 1140. Now it's back to the drive. Carmichael, Dave.
It sure is.
Here we go. The drive continues now.
Our thanks to Scott Bair. Our thanks to Scott Bair, joining us from NBC Sports California. Also, Dave Softy Muller before that. Dave Kaval, A's president, is going to join us in just a second. You know what? Let me see if I can kill two birds with one stone here. How about that? See if I can dial correctly. I have the number to our winner of the 65-inch television.
All circuits are busy now. Please try.
Shut up. Left it down, right? No? It's great radio. All right, let's see if we got this right. Calling her.
All circuits are busy now. Please.
You're going to do it? Because all circuits are busy for me. I can't call this guy. Or girl. From the 916. Carmichael, Dave looks odd and definitely weird. We should all be happy he does radio. If that mug was on TV, we'd all suffer. Well, that sounds like somebody who is, in fact, watching our video cast, and we appreciate that. Go to cage2k.com on the desktop. It's at your top right corner. If it is on your tablet, your phone, you just scroll down, and you can look at my weird and odd face. Joining us right now. We'll get to our television giveaway here next segment because we have, it's not royalty. I don't know, you curtsy, do you bow to a you nod? I want to get it correct here because we have admired the work that our next guest, along with Chris Giles and everybody behind the scenes there, has done with this Oakland Athletics team and their relationship with fans all year long. The president of the Athletics, Dave Kaval, joins us. Dave, it's Dave and Kyle. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm here in New York, all fired up for the game tonight. It's going to be awesome.
I assume you, if you were to go get a manicure right now, the manicurist would look at you and say, "Why are you even here? You have absolutely no nails. Are you biting them? Are your hands sweaty? Are you nervous?"
No, I'm not nervous. I think this is a great, confident team. You know, I just had coffee with Liam Hendricks, and he's excited. The whole coaching staff, all the young players, Bob Melvin. This team is built for this type of game, and I think they know it, and they're excited about really showing the world what they can do tonight.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. What's the vibe like around there? Because I know Chris Davis said he was nervous but excited. Is that kind of the general sentiment there in the locker room?
Yeah, and I think there's some veterans like Jed Lowry and folks like that who've been through games like this who I think bring a lot of confidence to the younger players. And I think the younger players, a lot of times, they don't even know to be nervous. I think that's the beauty of being young. Is that you can kind of approach things with your own viewpoint. And I think they're just looking forward to going out there and showing the country how great this team is.
I was talking with Kyle earlier, and we spent the better part of the show completely talking A's and how it's, regardless of who you root for, I guess unless you're a Yankee fan, I get it. It's almost impossible to root against these guys when you've got a team, as you well know, lowest opening day payroll, most successful team of a team that had the lowest opening day payroll. You have two guys, possibly three, that could finish top 10 in MVP voting in Chapman, Davis, and maybe even Blake Trinan gets in there. And you're going against the big, bad Bronx Bombers. It's David versus Goliath, but as I'm sure you've noted, it's not like the A's are some sappy little underdog. This is a team with all the talent in the world to be able to compete with the Yankees.
Oh, absolutely. And, I think for the Yankees, there's a lot of pressure on them because obviously they're expected on their home field to perform. We're going to come in here. We're just going to play the type of baseball we played all year. We've been excellent on the road. We had great defense. We had a great bullpen, amazing coaching. Those are the recipe. That is the recipe for success in the postseason. And so I think it's going to be an exciting game tonight. The entire country will be watching, and we can't wait.
I'm just going to go full A's fan here because I am a diehard A's fan, and I am really excited about the prospect of playoff games coming back to Oakland because there's not an atmosphere like it. Is that something that you guys are also looking forward to with potential playoff games with all the new stuff at the Coliseum?
Oh, yeah. I mean, those are the games that really not only bring all the great fans out, but the atmosphere and excitement that comes with a game at the Coliseum, a playoff game, is tremendous. And so obviously it's something we're rooting for. It'd be a fantastic thing for our community, and it'll actually be something that folks will remember for many generations to come.
Now, as we talked to A's president Dave Kaval, I am a very superstitious person, so I'm going to ask this question in a very strange way, which is, if in fact the A's were to win tonight, which we have no way of knowing and may possibly not happen, but if in fact they were, talk a little bit about the homecoming when we do get home playoff games and what the fans can expect.
Well, we've done a lot over the last couple of years to make sure the Coliseum fan experience was upgraded. And we've added things like the Treehouse and Shy Park Tavern and Championship Plaza. And so to have that stadium full, like we did against the Giants, where we had our largest crowd ever, 58,000, or the free game, 45,000, those are some of my fondest memories in my tenure as president. And so to have a playoff game that could be like that is really something that all of us are really thrilled. But we got to take one step at a time. We got to focus on tonight.
Right.
We can't get ahead of ourselves. We got to do everything we can to make sure that we put our best foot forward here in the Bronx, in New York. And then as things roll forward, there's going to be opportunities for those celebrations.
There's a watch party at the Treehouse tonight, from what I understand. Is that something that we have to pay to get into, or are we just showing up?
Totally free.
Wow.
Show up.
Snap.
Yeah, you don't have to pay for anything. Just have a great time. We open the concessions. We have all the game will be on the two big video boards. You can hang out, watch it from the terrace area, watch in the Treehouse itself.
Oh, man.
We're expecting, hundreds of people, and I think it'll be a great way to hang out with your friends and, celebrate this amazing accomplishment, this great playoff run, and hopefully root on a winner.
A's president Dave Kaval, live from New York City, site of the A's and Yankees. Of course, you have all that action right here on Sports 1140 KHTK tonight. Text from the 510 here. That's a Bay Area line. Dave Kaval has really done a lot for the A's the last couple of years. Love the taco trucks and the hometown vibe. Can't wait for the new stadium. That's from Rich. So, Dave, I ask you a couple business questions before you go. Give us an update, if you can, on the progress towards that stadium.
Well, we just got our bill, AB 734, signed by the governor. So that just happened a couple days ago. And that allows us to stay on track for that 2023 opening of the new ballpark. So we're very excited about that. That was a great accomplishment. Now we're going to be moving forward with finalizing our economic deal by the end of the year with the city, county, and the port. And we're making great progress there, too. So we're on track to make sure we can break ground by early 21, open by 23, and make sure we have a new, amazing, privately financed stadium here in Oakland.
And last question, and this is kind of awkward because we're in the business, but a lot of A's fans listening, a lot of A's fans interested. There were some waves made last week. I don't know if it was an official announcement or how that worked, but reading around that the A's will be looking for a new flagship going into next season. And I don't know what you can or can't or want or don't want to talk about, but I will ask you this. Is it still a possibility? Is it on the table? I know you guys tried to purchase a station and kind of make that your home a while back. Is that something that's still maybe on the menu for you guys?
Yeah, we're looking at all the options, everything from a joint venture to owning our own radio station, all those things to make sure that we can have the best way for fans to interact and listen to our content and make sure that they can not only get a great signal, but also that the content and the people who are on the actual channel are promoting the A's and are actually, striving to make the A's great. And so that's something we're going to do, and we're going to spend a lot of time in a thoughtful way this offseason to get there. And we're hopeful that we can have an announcement pretty shortly to make sure that people know where we're going to be on the dial next year.
So in short, you want whoever's on the flagship to actually want to talk about the actual ball club that's one of the best stories in Major League Baseball. That seems fair.
We think it's a good story, and I think
it is.
Fans and the community also do, and so I think it's good business. So I think all those things line up, and I think it's all a matter of making sure that we, and especially myself as the business person, put all those things together, align the incentives, and just let the talent run with it in a positive way, and I think that's going to be a winner for everybody.
Also saw that TV viewing is up 69% from last year, which is obviously a major thing, too, and you hope that transfers over to radio. I'll say this, Dave. All I can tell you is this. We were there at spring training. We've dealt with Fernando and all the guys behind the scenes. We've had almost everybody on the roster on this show. We love talking about the A's, and one of the big reasons we talk about them, A, they're a great story, and B, you and all of your people under you have been nothing but fantastic to us from day one. So we appreciate that, and I hope these conversations last for another couple weeks, another month, as we move on to the playoffs.
Let's do it. That sounds like a plan, guys.
All right, Dave. Good luck today. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
That's Dave Kaval, president of the Oakland A's. This won't mean anything to anyone but me, but it is scary to me. When I first had Dave Kaval on, former Kings president Chris Granger called me before the day before and said, Dave's one of my guys. I love him. He and I've done stuff together. You're going to love him. He's a good dude. I could not. It would be very difficult for me to tell you the difference between Chris Granger and Dave Kaval if they were both on the phone with me. Their mannerisms, their voices, their tones are almost scarily identical, which I guess makes sense because they're two of the best sports executives that exist in the world. So we'll take a break. When we get back, we're going to give away this television. We got a little What's on Tap, and I think you know what's on tap tonight. We'll focus on that. A's Yankees on KHTK. Back in a couple. Sports 1140 KHTK.
KHTK is your sports authority. Kings, NFL, Raiders, A's, Sharks, Republic, UC Davis football. KHTK, we do sports.
At Universal Men's Clinic, we focus on helping men suffering from low testosterone or ED. If you often feel low energy, have a decrease in your libido, or difficulty in the bedroom, you may have a treatable medical condition. These symptoms occur in many men over the age of 30. The medical staff at Universal Men's Clinic will evaluate your diagnosis and blood test to determine what medical treatments are available for you.
I'm Dr. Charles Arakaki of the Universal Men's Clinic, where we specialize in treating erectile dysfunction and low testosterone. With modern medicine and the latest technology, our patients experience a high level of care.
Come in for an office visit. For those with a treatable condition, the medical staff will create a customized treatment plan, including monitoring your progress in a professional and confidential atmosphere. Call Universal Men's Clinic at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit universalmensclinic.com.
Are you stuck with an inaccurate credit report? A credit report that's causing you to be denied credit? Then do what Kathy did and call Lexington Law Firm.
I was trying to finance a car, and it was, they wouldn't finance the car.
One call was all it took to start back on the track to repairing her credit.
I'm telling you, it was amazing. Y'all have really changed my life. I could not have straightened this out by myself.
Don't let an inaccurate credit report hold you back. California residents, call Lexington Law for a free credit consultation at 800-928-0387. That's 800-928-0387. 800-928-0387. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Your results will vary. John C. Heath, Attorney at Law, PLLC, DBA, Lexington Law, and of Counsel Attorneys. 360 North Cutler Drive, North Salt Lake, Utah, 84054. Adam Fullman of Counsel to Lexington Law in California.
Sacramento, it's your boy DC here, and I want to tell you about Beck's Furniture and Sleep. I told you about the 70 mattresses Beck's has on display, but I have to tell you about their bedroom sets as well. Beds, dressers, nightstands, armoires, kids' beds, they have it all. Bedroom sets start as low as $700 for a master set, and that includes bed frame, nightstand, dresser, and a mirror. Visit Beck's Furniture today, and you can see for yourself. Tell them Doug Christie sent you. Beck'sFurniture.com.
Beck's Furniture.
Hurry in for up to 40% off major appliance hot deals at JCPenney, including free delivery, basic installation, price match guarantee, and 18 or 30-month special financing on qualifying purchases with your JCPenney credit card. Plus, earn up to $100 in JCPenney rewards. JCPenney, style and value for all. Event is valid 9/27 to 10/17. Conditions and exclusions apply. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. Must request a time of purchase. See store jcp.com/appliances for details.
Hey, it's autumn, and it's time for the Autumn at Aaron's event when just $5 gets you started. That's right, just $5 gets you started leasing to own furniture, electronics, and appliances from brands you love. GE, Philips, LG, and more. With no credit needed and free delivery and setup. Visit your local Aaron's store or aarons.com now through October 11th. It's time for cool breezes and cool deals. Plus, just $5 gets you started during the Autumn at Aaron's event. At participating Aaron's stores, transaction advertised as a rental purchase agreement. Some restrictions apply.
Of all the things you spend your paycheck on,
Hey, hon! Check out this t-shirt I bought for the dog.
why pay to use your checking account? With truly free checking from Golden One Credit Union, you don't have to.
It has a hot dog on it.
Because we're not for profit. And our checking has no minimum balance or hidden fees.
Get it, hon? Hot dog!
And now all Californians can join. So open your account today. Golden One Credit Union. We're stronger together. Insured by NCUA.
Paul Blanco wants his new Kia dealership to be number one. Paul sells 1,000 used cars a month, so Paul can afford to give good deals on new Kias just to prove a point. So use Kia's giant factory rebates and let banks compete to get you approved. Only at paulblancokia.com.
It's the end of the show, but it's the start of your workday. For a cold one, it's What's on Tap. Here's What's on Tap.
What exactly is on tap? Let me see. Is there anything going on? Oh, A's, Yankees. You've been waiting for it. It's here. Pull up a chair. 5:08 Pacific, right here on the Sporty 11 freaking 40. I am truly pumped for this game, and I'm truly pumped for A's fans. Yes, whether you want it or not, I'm rooting for you. I know Grant Napier is over there in New York watching the game in person. I know that Jason Ross, the boss, is a diehard Yankee fan. Sorry, guys. I got to root for the A's. 97-65 on the year. 162 are the New York Yankees. There's NBA preseason stuff going on. Nothing with the Kings. That'll happen tomorrow. They're in LA tomorrow. They're in Seattle on Friday. Let's see. Let me go to one of our contestants here. We wanted to give away that 65-inch Samsung LED TV courtesy of the Home Theater Company.
Yeah, just start at the bottom there and just work your way up.
All right, so I'm going to start with contestant number 1 who entered, and I believe his name is Suk Singh. Is that correct?
Yes.
Suk, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Let me ask you, what show were you listening to? Do you remember when you texted in the code word to be qualified?
I believe, Monday show.
Was it our show or was it one of the afternoon shows?
Your show.
Okay, that is the correct answer. All right, so we're doing good so far.
Yeah, 1 for 1.
1 for 1. Number 2, what would you do with a brand new 65-inch television courtesy of the Home Theater Company?
Well, I'd set it up in my loft for my gaming TV.
For your gaming TV. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Question 3, gaming as in Xbox, PlayStation 4?
Yes, Xbox.
Xbox. And what game, give me 2 games you're currently playing right now.
I've been playing Destiny and also just got, what's one of the Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, okay. Last question for you. Have you reached the Dreaming City in Destiny yet?
I have not. I have 2 small kids, so I don't get to play as much as you do, so I'm barely doing anything.
Are you a warlock, are you a hunter, or are you the other thing? I forget.
I'm the hunter.
You're the hunter, okay. And what's your light level currently?
Actually, it's been a while since I played, so I don't remember.
Okay, all right. I mean, are we in the 3s, the 4s, the 5s? Do you remember that?
3, I believe.
Oh, okay. So you haven't even really gotten into Forsaken yet, have you?
No. Like I said, I got a 4-year-old,
yeah.
3-year-old, so don't let me play much.
Nope. I understand.
We got to get to our winner here.
Oh, we have to. We have other people on the line.
Yes.
Okay. Suk, thank you. I'm going to put you on hold real quick and get to everybody else. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. Hold on. Yes. Oh, do you have some?
No, I just knew that was getting to Destiny. I also thought it was great that he said, I have 2 small kids, so I don't get to play as much to a guy with 2 small kids.
You know, I got to tell you, priorities. You got to have your priorities correct. Although, I don't know, man. He didn't know what
He's like, well, Dave, I'm a good father. So
he didn't know what his life level was,
That's what he said,
though.
basically.
He did basically say that. He said, you know, I'm a good dad. I'm a good dad, unlike you. Meanwhile, I'm hoping the game ends last night, and then as soon as the game's over, I'm rushing everybody up to bed. Kiss, hug, good night. Love you too. All right, see you later. Bye. Good night. So I can go downstairs and complete one of my quests. It's fine.
Unbelievable.
All right, let's go to
Who's next?
let's go to our next.
Let's go to the next one.
Go to the next one. All right, hold on. Who's this? Sook.
Yes.
Hey man, I'm sorry. We're just goofing with you. You won. Congratulations.
Yeah, you're the winner the whole time. Hey.
we didn't have the time to put together an elaborate contest, but we did want to make you work on it.
Yeah.
If he's been listening to the show, he definitely knew he was the winner.
You won a 65-inch Samsung HD television, courtesy of our dear, dear friends at the Home Theater Company that have given us not one, not two, but 3 TVs to give away. I believe you also got the Blu-ray player as well to go with that. Would you make me one promise? You already listened to the show, and we appreciate that. Kids, you listen. I too have young kids, and obviously, I'm not. And I'm saying this. This is not a baited thing here. I'm not as good a father as you. Obviously, you like to.
Those were never my words.
No, I know they weren't. Oh, I know they weren't. They're my words. I mean, you actually parent and spend time with them and don't ignore them and don't tell them to get out of the way constantly. You probably don't tie them up outside and give them food and water and all the things that I enjoy. But would you do me a favor, and when you get this television, would you find a way to get yourself at least a couple of days of sitting in front of that brand new high-def TV and get that light level up, because it really is a fun expansion for Destiny.
I will send my wife and kids to the in-laws, and I'll play for 2 days long.
That is what I want to hear. Congratulations, sir. I don't even need to put you on hold. I'm going to hang up with you, and some very nice people in promotions are going to get a hold of you here in a little bit and set you all up, my man. Congratulations. Oh, hey, what morning show on KHTK makes all your TV dreams with the Home Theater Company come true?
The Drive.
That is fan-freaking-tastic. You know what? Everybody's happy, Kyle. Everybody's happy, and that's what matters. By the way, coming up this year, just so you know, because we do like messing with people, coming up this year, Kyle and I spent a lot of time at Media Day coming up with King's Trivia. We asked each player between 10 to 13 questions.
Yeah, really good questions, too.
Ranging from what's your favorite Disney movie to...
if you could be traded to any team, what team would it be?
That was not one of them. So we will be doing King's Trivia. How well do you know your Kings? For example, it will be like... what is Willie Cauley-Stein's favorite Disney movie? Is it A, this, B, that, C, that? You'll guess, and if you guess correctly, bing, we'll figure out a way to either have you answer one right or a couple right. We'll do a couple contests. We'll have some fun.
The A's are playing in yet another winner-take-all playoff game tonight. They have not won one of those in my life.
Oh, God, that sounds horrible. So they're due.
They're due.
Okay.
The good news is I've developed an armor against this. I'll still be bummed and disappointed, but like, dudes, one time for the one time.
Not an Esmer?
Can we?
Not a Teaver?
No.
Not a Humor?
No, it'd be a
armor.
Yeah.
Okay. Which way do you want me to go, Kyle, as a non-A's fan? I'm going to do one of two things for you today. Do you want me to jinx it by guaranteeing they will win? Or do you want me to reverse jinx and guarantee that they will lose?
I want your honest assessment. Because now that you've spoken the jinxes into existence, neither will work. So I want your honest assessment.
7-5. The Oakland A's win the ball game.
Damn.
7-5.
Son of a. I'm not even gonna watch.
7-5. Hey, are you gonna make a call?
No, I'm not gonna make a specific call.
Okay, well then, would you do me a favor? Would you turn off your mic? I know we got to go, and I'll do all the thank yous. Would you turn your mic off? Would you ask Eunice what she thinks tonight's score will be and who she thinks will win? All All right, while Kyle's asking Eunice, our executive producer, who we appreciate so much for doing all the graphics and fun stuff for our TV broadcast, our video cast, courtesy of Jiffy Lube, courtesy of Sac Republic. Thanks to Dave Kaval, A's president.
Eunice says A's win 5-3.
Hey, see, there we go. We both agree. Softy from KJR Radio up in Seattle joined us. Scott Bair as well. Join us tomorrow. We'll have all the recap of your Oakland A's. We will also
Might cry if they win.
We'll be previewing the Sacramento Kings and Lakers.
I'll just take one.
Go A's. Go A's. Go A's. Jim Ramos next right here on Sports 1140 KHK. Bye-bye now.